Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Welcome into another edition of the JP Peterson Show as we rock on this hump day. The Bolts get a win last night, 3-0 shutout of Carolina. So back on the winning track for the Bolts. Now we just got to get the Bucs to follow suit. That would be fun, right? Let's get that going. And hopefully this Thursday night, tomorrow night, God, they play already.
Yeah.
They will practice and get on a plane and head to Buffalo today. And then tomorrow night they play a game. And oof, man, if they could steal this one, all the ills of this past couple of weeks will have been forgotten. And my goodness, in this crazy-ass league, you never know what's going to happen. And hey, maybe they can pull it off. Say good morning to you, Peter Blake. How are you, my friend?
What's going on, buddy? Yeah, getting ready for this Bucs game. Big-time Lightning win last night. That was great to see. Man, so much stuff going on right now in Tampa, but you're exactly right. Going back to the Bucs, if they can pull this win out, and the matchup is there. You know, the Bills 31st against the run. Is this the night where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finally run the ball, or is it much of the same as what we saw here the last couple of weeks, which has been really disappointing, really boring at the end of the day?
Well, if they're ever going to run the football, like you said, this is the week to get it done, and hopefully Chase Edmonds can give this team a little bit of a boost. If he's not RB1 this game, and I know he's just coming off an injury, mentally he should be ready to go. Hopefully this time during his injury time, if he wasn't taking the mental reps, it's something I don't want to hear from this coaching staff. Well, he's just coming back. He's not ready. Bullcrap. If he's physically ready, he better be mentally ready, because otherwise, what have you been doing for the first 6 weeks? You know, you should be taking every mental rep in practices, ready to go, knowing your assignments. He's a pro, should be ready to go, should get significant snaps. I think if I'm the Buccaneers, he's, especially in a short week, he's the freshest guy you got. Stick him in there, let him play. Can't be worse than the other two jamokes. Matt Filer probably will not play, so that should give Nick Lever. I've been hearing Aaron Stinney's working at left guard. Why would you put Aaron Stinney at left guard? Nick Leverett played there all last year. I mean, that makes no sense to me. So we'll see what happens with that. This offensive line coaching staff right now is, and run game coordinator. These are the two guys that were held over from last year who brought you the worst running game in the history of the NFL. So, you got to go produce on the field. Now you're overseeing the worst running game this year. So what are you doing? Do something different. Make a change in this week when you have an opportunity to run the goddamn football. So hopefully that'll get done. Coming up on the show today, Cullen Telfer is going to join us. Cullen is one of the top 15 rodeo champions in the world from Brandon, our Tampa Bay's own. That's right. We have a rodeo champion here. So he made the top 15. So that means he gets to go to Vegas and compete for hundreds of thousands of dollars in the world championship at the end. So, and this is one of these crazy people that jumps on the back of a bull and rides it for 8 seconds for a living.
Wow.
What you doing today, honey? Oh, I'm going to get out of the pack. It's a 2,000-pound raging lunatic with horns on his head and see if I can ride him for 8 seconds. What are you doing? Going to the grocery store? So we'll talk with Cullen Telfer at 10:15. Leo Haggerty's going to join us at 10:45, covers USF, our USF Bulls report. He'll join us at 10:45 for that. Coming off a big dub, right?
Yeah.
Finally.
Yes. Well, there was a lot of doubts there. I mean, being down 21-10, a lot of people ready to end the season. Season's over. It's a hot garbage, all this other stuff. And the Bulls, like their coach says, keep on swinging, keep swinging. They went 24-21. Lots of great comments here from Coach Golish on Brown. Brown also comments going into this bye week here. So you got to feel pretty good. Again, still some things to work on. But when it comes to the defense holding, keeping the Bulls offense in the game, that was relevant last Saturday. And then on top of
Big
it,
time
covers. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's been their issue, right? They can score points, but you gotta get the ball back. You got to make key stops, and they were able to do that and finally get a dub. So this puts them back on track to hopefully get a bowl bid, which I think would be tremendous for this program, would get tremendous momentum going, really, really help recruiting. So let's see if they can finish it out over there at USF. As I mentioned, the Bolts get a big 3-0 win last night over Carolina. Carolina team, that has given them fits for years and years. Very good hockey team, although they were at the tail end of a long roadie for them. But they got Sebastian Aho back from injury, and like I said, they've always given the Bolts headaches. And last night the Bolts did a great job of limiting time and space, which is something they did not do against Toronto. And during the post-game show last night with Brian Engblom, he talked a lot about how that they practiced these last couple days, and they worked on 3-on-3, which thankfully they didn't need in overtime. But they also worked on limiting the time and space and shortening up those opportunities when guys are skating into your zone to be a little bit more aggressive at the blue line. I think they did a great job of that last night. And of course, Jonas Johansson was absolutely sensational. Gets a shutout, 32 saves, made it look easy. Which as you know, if you're flopping around out there making crazy, 5-bell saves all over the place, you're probably not in great position as a goalie. When you it's like when Vasi makes a shutout look easy and he's always in the right place and it doesn't need any of these crazy saves. That's a mark of a really, really good goaltender. And Johansson has been, I tell you what, he's been everything and more that they've asked for. He had 48 saves the other night against Toronto in the overtime loss. Right. He was, as Cooper pointed out, he was all three of their stars of the game. And last night he was really, really good. But the defense in front of them was really, really good. And even though they got outshot 32-23, most of those shots were not really dangerous opportunities. The Lightning had more dangerous opportunities, and they capitalized on three big ones and really controlled the game. And going into the third, once again, you have a 2-goal lead, just like Saturday night. So we're all just like, okay, are we going to be able to close this out? Like, are we going to flop again? Are they just going to turn up the heat? And to the Lightning's credit, even though they got outshot, I think 11-6, 11-5 in that last period. Again, they kept the puck in their end. Didn't get a lot of shots on net, but a lot of puck possession, a lot of pressure, and just didn't give Carolina that. Like Toronto had constant pressure in that third period. You just felt like, okay, at some point the dam's going to break. And you didn't get that feeling last night at all. This was back to the two previous seasons when they had leads that they would shut things down and not allow time and space. So high marks. They switched up to D pairs a little bit last night to get some freshness going there. Cooper made a couple other line changes. So, it's still kind of an experiment to find out who's going to play best with whom, what combinations work the best. And last night was I think their most complete game of the year.
And of course, who scores the first goal there on the power play, who we've talked about has all these opportunities. I tell you what, let's go out to it. Here we go.
9 power play goals against, most in the league.
And it's starting on the faceoffs. They're losing too many of them. They lose again.
And the Lightning have it. 1 minute to go. In behind the net. That's Paul. Kucherov, quick shot, tip, scores! And he's on the board. Brandon Points, power play goal, 1-0, Lightning.
So there you go.
Yeah, big goal for Braden Point, who scored 51 last year in the regular season. Had first 7 games, had not gotten on the board, but he did have 7 assists, which was tied for second in the league. So it wasn't like he wasn't part of the attack. He just, been a little snake bit around the net, but got that tip in off the Hedman. I believe that was a Hedman shot.
Yes.
And, just a little redirect there in front, and he's on the board, and hopefully that opens the floodgates for him. Thought he played a really good game last night. And then the second goal comes from our man, Alex Barre-Boulet, who, his issue has been, producing on that top 6 line. He's a guy that's not going to be able to play in the lower 6. He's just not a checker. He's not that type of guy. He's a skill guy, doesn't skate particularly, well. He's got to have to play with some really good players to be effective. And, with Pointer and Kucherov, you're going to get that. So he's, hang around the net, get open, facilitate some plays, let them find you, use your scoring touch around the net. And that's 2 games in a row he's done that. Cooch put one on his tape, against Toronto. He did miss. And then this one from his old buddy, Darren Radish, from their AHL Syracuse days, they combined for this goal.
Quickly outlets that, and Nikita Kucherov through center ice. Puts it wide, Point, back across, Barre-Boulet in, back across, up top, Radish shoots, tip, scores! Alex Barre-Boulet!
Ooh, nice call there.
Yeah.
Dave Randorf. Alex Barre-Boulet. I like that. And what was great about that goal was, as my partner Brian Engbaum said last night in the postgame show, I always like to get credit when I steal his stuff. Barre-Boulet came in and had a golden chance opportunity and got stoned. And it's, at some point, young players who are trying to, stay up here, your head would dip, you'd go behind the net and sulk for a little bit. He didn't do that. He came right back to the side of the net, and Carolina pushed up towards the top, and Radish found him right there on the doorstep. Then he knocked it in. So, this is all part of the NHL. You're not, those opportunities. The first opportunity, he's going to score on 9 times out of 10 in the AHL, but he didn't get it. This is, it's a different league. These guys are better up here, even though it was their Carolina's second or third string goalie, Kachikov. And he came back and he got the assist from Darren Radish, put it right on his tape, and he scores. So 2 goals in 2 games for Alex Barre-Boulet. That's what we need. That guy, that's exactly his role. He's got to do that. And that was a big goal. It gives you a 2-goal lead heading into the third. And then, as I mentioned, the Lightning just kind of controlled that third period, didn't allow any real high danger chances. A couple of them, which Johansson came up with some really nice saves. So that was, him doing his job at the point he needed to do it. And then Nick Paul cashes in late to put the dagger in.
They're going to flip it right back in with 3 minutes to go. Knocked aside by Orlov. Brandon Hagel. Hagel hangs on to the puck. Gets it away. They score!
Nice goal scorer's goal there for Nick Paul. He's got 4 goals now in 7, 8 games. So, he had a nice season last year, but had that dry spout of about 23 games where he didn't score. But this is a guy that's capable of 30 goals, and he's off to a really, really good start. And I think there's, and this is why the Lightning acquired him. I think they felt like there was a lot more in this guy with his size, his skating ability, his abilities. And of course he had gotten a little fight right after that and tuned some guy up, which is nice. So he's got a lot of good, I've kind of called him the poor man's Tom Wilson, because I think he's obviously not as good as Wilson was in his heyday, but he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the grit, he's got he's got the scoring ability. So, he just needs to be a little bit more assertive, and I think he can become that type of player. And he's not an asshole like Wilson, so we don't have to worry about that. But he's
it's okay if he is, because you would like to
need that, right?
More asshole on this team, and I like seeing that last night. You saw a couple players mix it up, not only Paul but Janot and everybody else mixing it up. So I think it's good for the team. I think it fires up the team at the end of it, and then also, like you said, you don't want to blow a lead. And I think a lot of people are thinking, when is that going to happen again? Block shots, doing a good job of limiting those scoring opportunities by the Hurricanes. The penalty kill was particularly good last night. So overall, if they got that physical effort, they have that effort every night defensively, and the way Johansson is playing right now, who knows? Maybe this 2 months isn't so bad. And I think the big shock is, JP, who has the most saves right now in the league? Johansson.
I would think, especially after the 48 he made. Yeah, he's made, 80 saves in the last 2 games. That'll pad your numbers a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that they could have asked anything more than what he's giving you right now. So he has been tremendous, and he was tremendous last night. And Cooper talked about, not only what he's doing, but the fact that they played much better around him. And as he mentioned, said when you get a shutout, everyone talks about the goalie, but it's a team award, really. It is a team award. And I think, and that was very much on display last night. And that's huge for the Lightning, because they have to, that if they can, limit team shots and, 32 shots, maybe a little bit more than you would like. But Carolina was that game was fast paced last night. It was up and down, and I think they missed the net 12 times, but that was because they were being pressured. They didn't have time and space. Well, you have time and space to shoot the puck like Toronto did, you're going to be much more accurate with your shots. If you're up in their face when they're trying to shoot, obviously their shots are not going to be as accurate, and you're going to get a lot of misses on the net. So again, a entire team effort, and we saw that last night for the Lightning. Very, very well done. All right, we're going to take our first break. We're going to get to all the Bucs stuff, guys. We got Baker Mayfield. We're going to hear from him. I thought he had some interesting things to say yesterday. Dave Canales facing some very pointed questions yesterday about his offense, and rightfully so. So we'll hear from Dave Canales as well. Leo Haggerty on USF. Lots of stuff. Charles Barkley ripping into NBA players like I did yesterday. Love that. So all that's great stuff coming up. Coming up next, Cullen Telfer, a rodeo champion from right here in the great Tampa Bay area. So we'll chat with him. Going to be a fun conversation. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, Bay Area Modern Medical Center. If you have any issues with testosterone or want to lose some weight, BAMMC.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. So do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we talk all things Tampa Bay sports. And we got a great special guest here for you that is doing great things in the world of rodeo. And he joins us now, Cullen Telfer from, where'd you go to high school, Cullen? Bloomingdale?
Strawberry Crest.
Strawberry Crest, that's right, Strawberry Crest. So congratulations on making the top 15 and heading to Vegas. You pretty excited about this?
Yes, sir. I am. We'll head out at the beginning of December and looking forward to it.
Well, tell me a little bit about your journey to this point. Your dad's a good friend of mine, and we keep up with you when we can. When did you get started in rodeo? What first got you going into this sport?
When I was younger, I have a younger sister, and she just my mom bought her a horse just to ride around, the hobby. Took her to some youth rodeos, and at some point in time after those youth rodeos, just watched the bull ride and decided I wanted to do it for whatever reason. And, just took off from there.
So your sister started riding horses, and you decided to get on the back of a 2,000-pound raging bull.
Yep, pretty much.
Well, now what everybody wants to know, like, why would you do that? Like, one thing to ride a horse, it's another thing to do that. I mean, take me through that whole mindset. You go to a rodeo and you're like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
I ask myself the same question sometimes. How am I doing this? But I just enjoy it. It's something for whatever reason, ever since I started, I was all about it. It's all I wanted to do.
So you have a wrestling background, correct?
Yes, sir.
How does that help you in terms of riding a 2,000-pound bull?
I think just the physical shape that comes from being a wrestler and knowing like how to control your body and the workout programs. I think all that translates into riding bulls and helps me to perform to my best.
Do you feel like you have an advantage because of that wrestling background? And how's that come in handy when you're on that bull?
Yeah, in some ways I do feel I have an advantage from it. One of the biggest things that it's helped me with is just being able to control my body, especially like on dismounts and when I'm trying to get away from the animal after that seems to be where it really does help the most, just being agile and being able to get out of there as quick as possible.
Now, Cullen, you have to explain to Peter, because he thinks wrestling is that WWE stuff on. So you have to explain to him that you're a real wrestler and how that works.
Wait a minute. Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Kurt Angle, they were all amateur wrestlers, and they also went on to the WWE. Right here, Cullen, help me out here.
I don't know on that. I haven't looked into it.
He's a real wrestler. He doesn't watch the fake stuff, bro.
Listen,
I'm trying to explain this to you.
Brock Lesnar was an amateur wrestler at Minnesota. You have Shelton Benjamin, and you also have Kurt Angle, who wrestled with a broken friggin' neck in the 1996 Olympics. So it's not as far-fetched. Let me ask you this, because we always talk about sports movies on this show. How come somebody hasn't made a good rodeo movie, in your opinion? And besides yourself, who would you have star in that movie?
I will say that there's the movie 8 Seconds about Lane Frost.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a pretty good movie. That's about bull riding, and Lane Frost was a world champion bull rider, and that movie does a good job illustrating kind of the lifestyle and traveling the rodeos and the process of riding bulls. But I guess if they were to make a new movie about riding bulls, I have a buddy. He's from Florida also. His name's Clayton Sellers. And he's got movie star written all over him.
Movie star written.
Oh, okay.
All right. His agent over here.
All right. I like that. Cullen Telfer joining us here from Strawberry Crest High School, top 15 bull rider in the world. He's heading to Vegas to tell us a little bit about this event. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line. And people may think that a top 15 bull rider makes, gobs and gobs of money, but you probably don't even get paid a great hourly wage, especially as much as you train and do all this for. What's the money like now, and how much does it jump up for this Vegas deal?
Yeah, at the NFR, that's the highest paying rodeo of the year. So it'll be 10 rounds. The money's gone up every year. I think now it pays to win a round, pay around 30,000. Then they have an average bonus at the end that'll pay 60 or 70,000. So
nice.
And have a good finals and a successful 10 days. There's quite a bit of money up there for us. And rodeo really has grown a lot over the past couple of years. I think so. This year I came in 15th with 128,001. That was
nice.
The last spot to go to the NFR. Prior to that, like last year, it was 90,000. It was 15th. So it seems that the sport's heading in the right direction as far as the financial side.
Now, I'm a big fan of the series Yellowstone, and they've done a couple episodes featuring rodeo, and it's a huge show. Is there getting more interest because of Yellowstone and maybe some of these other movies that are more exposures for rodeo?
I think it's definitely helping. I have buddies, from around here that they don't know much about rodeo, but because of Yellowstone, it seems like the sparked an interest, and they're asking me all types of questions that prior to that show they probably would have never thought to ask.
Cool.
So, yeah, I think it definitely helps.
Yeah. So what is the lifestyle like? Are there chicks all over the place? You got your hat on, you're in good shape. You're a good looking young guy, much better looking than your dad. I know you must have got that from your mom. So what's the lifestyle like?
It's pretty much eat, sleep, drive, get on a bull, get back in the car, drive, try and get some more sleep. That's how our summer schedule is. It's really busy. We don't have much time to do anything else. A lot of traveling, and the most that we spend in one spot is normally the 2 hours that we're at the rodeo, and then it's back in the vehicle, back on the road, try to get to the next event.
Well, you got a girlfriend or a wife that rubs your back, gives you a little TLC after riding these bulls?
I do. She takes care of me.
There you go. And so you're driving from give us a what would a couple of weeks, 3 weeks on the road take us from city to city? Like what's your schedule like? What's the deal?
So for example, 4th of July, like that time of year in July it's a big month for us as rodeo. Like in the PRCA, there's more rodeos in that month than there is probably in from January to March. But we'd start out in St. Paul, Oregon, then we'd drive to Montana, and then we'd drive to Cody, Wyoming. There's some Canadian rodeos going on at that time as well. So if you get into those, then you're up to Canada.
Calgary, yeah, up there, the Stampede, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many days in between each rodeo?
Typically you want to try and be at a rodeo every day of the week through that time period, because there's every rodeo during that time of the year is got a lot of money at it. They're big events, and you want to try and get there. So normally you got a day. You leave St. Paul, Oregon, and if you get entered right, then you can try and make a logical trip out of it. Sometimes they put you across the country the next day, and you gotta book a flight and get there.
How nervous were you on the first time you went on a bull? First time, do you remember it?
I'm pretty sure I got up crying. 8 or 9 years old on steers, but I remember crying at least the first 5 times, but I kept getting on for some reason.
Nice. Best memory and worst memory besides that one?
Shoot, there's a lot to go through. Probably my best memory this year, winning there's a big Extreme Bulls in Salinas, California. It's kind of a big iconic event for us, and winning that this year was really cool.
Nice.
Then worst memory.
You ever get stomped out?
I've taken a couple beatings, nothing serious.
Wow.
But and the worst memory is hard. I try not to.
You try to block those out. Yeah, that's a smart guy. Smart guy, no doubt. Yeah, I can kind of see you as a young kid, and this is a little lesson to all the dads, right? Okay, so young Cullen's 9, 10 years old, gets on it, falls off and is crying. Do you pick him up and pat him on the head and you cuddle him and take him out? No, you put him back on the damn thing and you ride him again until you stop crying. So you gotta give your dad a little bit of credit, your mom, to kind of getting you through this sport, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were trying to. They thought it was just going to be like a hobby, or maybe get a couple cute pictures on a little steer, and I'd be done with it. And for whatever reason, I wasn't done with it. And but they've definitely helped me out a lot, especially when I was younger. And then they realized, okay, he enjoys this. This is something he wants to do. And before I could drive, they would take me to rodeos on the weekends, and they'd get me to places where I could learn and practice. And yeah, they definitely helped me out a lot.
That's cool. So what is the key to riding a 2,000-pound raging bull? Like, what are you thinking? What is your game plan? Do you have to scout the bull and, see what his best moves are and counter those moves? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, so there's quite a bit of technique that goes into it, but it's all like counteracting the momentum, that animal produces when it's bucking. So there's certain moves you do at certain times, and when it's game time, it's all muscle memory. But there's different ways to practice. Like, we have barrels that now they've gotten to be pretty realistic. They'll try and mimic the movements of a bull, and you can practice on them. Yeah, it's just all counteracting whatever that animal's doing underneath you, doing the certain moves that keep you in the middle of his back.
Nice.
And at that point, if you get thrown off, or when you jump off after 8 seconds, it's, is there a technique to getting the hell out of there?
Yeah, there is a proper way to dismount, and when it's done properly, you land on your feet and you get away, and it's easy. It's hard to do it properly every time. But bull riding, when it's done right from start to finish, it is easy. It's just not easy to do it right.
Right, exactly, because the bull has other ideas. Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, so December. So from now to December, do you get a little break and you're just training for Vegas, or what's your deal?
Yes, sir. I've spent this past month just kind of rehabbing some injuries from the summer, getting everything feeling good, and coming in November, probably go to a couple rodeos, spend a lot of time in the gym and riding practice bulls, and just keeping my body feeling as good as possible.
All right, superstar. Thanks for taking some time. I know you did Fox 13, so you got there'll be a TV feature coming up on you. Who came out and did the story on you? Was it Kevin O'Donnell?
No, he's actually on his way here now. It's
okay.
Lloyd.
Lloyd Sauer. Okay, cool.
Wow,
we'll be looking. Hey, getting the big people out. We'll be looking for that on Fox 13 in the next couple days. And I'm thinking, I can't promise it, but I'm just going to throw it out to my people at the Lightning that maybe we'll get you to come out and then hit the Tesla coils one time before you head out to Vegas.
All right, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. All right, but you're gonna have to wear the cowboy hat. We need the full rodeo thing. All right, it's a show, so we need you to do all that stuff for us. Okay.
Yeah, that'll work. I can do that.
All right, let me see if I can get that done. Hey, Cullen, great name, by the way. My son's name. Your father's very smart in that as well. So good luck to you, man. Looking forward to seeing what happens out in Vegas. And stay healthy, my friend. Stay healthy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Cullen Telfer there, rodeo champion. How about that?
Yeah, I'm telling you. They made a couple movies. 8 Seconds, I forgot about that one. I think that's with Luke Perry, the late, great Luke Perry.
Yeah.
And they made one in the 80s. Do you remember that one with John Travolta?
Yes.
About Urban Cowboy.
Urban Cowboy. Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to ask about that one, but why
John
not?
Travolta.
Yes.
On a bull? Yeah. No. Like that never would happen. Never. Never.
You don't think he's
like me? Never. Yeah. Can you imagine? First of all, have you ever been to a rodeo?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I need to get out to.
Yeah, I've been to a couple, and I haven't gone to see Cullen ride, but it's definitely on my bucket list. Maybe we'll get out to Vegas and go watch him in the championships out there, because that's going to be super cool. That's going to be, and I think it's just a sport with Yellowstone and some other things that it's going to start exploding. I really do, because I think people are getting, and we'll get to this part of the show as well. I think people are getting tired of these superstars. The NBA players, the football players, the baseball, all these, bitching and moaning about where they want to play, who they want to play, not making enough money. And it's just, I think we want cowboys that are, really freaking earning their money and doing something that's actually, exceptional, that, to sit on a freaking bull for 8 seconds. To me, that's like, now that's something. I can shoot a basketball. I can throw a football. I can't get on the back of a bull. I can't get on the back of a bull. Can't do that. No way I'm doing. So I have a feeling that, what it just needs? It needs a Netflix series. That's what it needs.
Yeah, it does.
If professional bull riding gets a Netflix series, boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Exactly.
By the way, our assistant producer, the lovely Ashley, sent me this, and exactly what I'm talking about. Did you see LeBron's get up last night?
No, I did not, but I heard he didn't play that much because he was loading. How do you injury load on the first game? I mean, this is the reason why you're not the greatest of all time, by the way.
He's 39 years old. Come on, give him a break.
I don't care. He's not the
Well, let's put it this way.
Time.
He played, 28 minutes last night, or 29 minutes?
Yeah, great.
His outfit was worth $28,000. So almost per thousand, well, whatever. Louis Vuitton, $28,000. But he had a purse on. I don't care what you call it. What do they call it? A bandolier? It's a purse.
Man purse? It's a man
purse.
Right.
So he had a
what is he, Indiana Jones now? I mean, do you remember that from Hancock?
A 5K demouflage. I just need to have Ashley pronounce all this stuff. Demouflage, tweed chic collarless jacket, $1,250 pants, $1,220 LV checker derby kicks. So I guess those are your $1,200 shoes. A speedy bandolier, $40, an $11,000 price tag on that baby. He has a briefcase. Set the average Joe back another $9,500. You got a briefcase. That's $9,500.
For what?
I mean, come on, dog. I mean, this is, and he played 27 minutes.
Oh, it was 29, but Charles Barkley had a big problem with it, and he should. I think a lot of fans out there are disappointed.
Man, these guys are so soft. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is terrible. You're gonna make $45 million a year, and you can't even play second half. You can't play 30 minutes of basketball in a regular season game when you ain't even playing that on. Man, I'm gonna tell you, Shaq, this is just bullshit. I don't know, man. This is crazy. These guys are so soft. It's terrible. Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He said it in so many words. And I tell you right now, when people say, well, this generation of basketball players is a lot better. No, it's not. It may be more athletic, it may be more gifted per se, but it's not better than the 80s and 90s. Not even close.
Oh, God, no.
That was physical. That was tough. You had the big man. You had defense. People,
and, they not only was it physical and tough, but it was skilled too.
Yes.
I have yet to see a player that can emulate the sky hook of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, I remember, Pistol Pete Maravich, the great one, most talented players, greatest shooter of all time. I mean, Steph Curry's great, but Pistol Pete was 6'7". He was unguardable. Yeah. Unguardable. These guys weren't as big, but they were every bit as talented. George Gervin could fill it up. Bob McAdoo. So these guys, man, they were unbelievable. And they, and you had to play in a physical time too. And they weren't, getting on charter planes and all that other stuff that these guys get to do. And they got to sit out half their games. Crazy. Lonnie says,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
LeBron breaks the scoring record, then sits the last quarter while the Lakers are losing and end up losing a winnable game. King my ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And Barkley even said it. They have the best diets. They have, some of these guys are sleeping in chambers. I mean, they have everything is to their advantage. They have the best of everything and they can't play. It's the first game. Like maybe I could see the middle of the season or the end of the season, but it's the first game of the season and we're already talking about injury loading. I mean, this is why a lot of people just want to turn off the NBA and want to turn off sports in general. They just want to turn it off. There's no heart anymore. You got the check and that's it. You got the bag. Get the bag. Get the bag. That's it. That's all it's about.
I went on my rant yesterday. If you want to see it, you can see it on yesterday's show in our archives on YouTube. And who's that? Who's that in the background there?
That is my dog right there.
What's up?
My dog smells food because I didn't eat breakfast early enough today. So I got breakfast. And he's looking at it and he's causing the shadow right there. So that's Alexander the Shadow.
We love dogs. We love dogs on the show. They can make appearances anytime they want. Yeah. Jordan jumping in today. Good morning, Jordan. Have you all checked out these new NHL Edge technology they released? Some pretty amazing stuff. It tells Jonas's top 99th percentile in saves in high danger areas. How about that? Vasty's going to have a battle when he comes back.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually have, you basically have something, a good problem to have, which you didn't expect that at the beginning of the season. So hopefully you can continue to do it. I'm not going to, he's the greatest goalie of all time now.
We're not doing that.
No,
we're not doing that.
No.
Vasty's still the guy, but it's great to have a guy that, and shout out to Franz John, coached his 1,000th career game the other night, our goalie coach, who does a phenomenal job with Vasilevsky and even the backup goalies we've had over the last few years, he's gotten the best out of them. And here he gets, Jonas is playing lights out hockey for this Lightning team. So, our defense needs to get better. It was much better last night. It hasn't been good most of the year, but it was much better last night, Jordan. So we're moving in the right direction, I think is what we should say. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Leo Haggerty's going to join us as we celebrate a USF win on the gridiron. Could they become bowl eligible, this Jekyll and Hyde team? Let's hope so. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group and the Patio. By the way, the Patio coming up Friday night. It's their Armageddon costume contest for Halloween. $2,500 cash contest, $1,500 to the winner. So get your best costume and come on out to the Patio. DJ Merck's going to be out there, $5 White Claw, $5 seltzers, vodka drinks. So it's going to be a big party Friday night. Of course, Thursday night at the Patio, it's going to be Bucs and Bills with the Bills Mafia there. So Bucs fans, come on out and drown them out. That'll be fun if you want to get in a really dramatic atmosphere. Thursday night at the Patio, 421 South McDill, where everybody hangs out outside of the Patio. All right, back in 3 with Leo Haggerty. Stay with us.
Sitting around the house. Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Fitz, the mortgage guy, did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz, the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, JP Peterson Show brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. If you want to lose weight or you need that testosterone right, go to BAMMC.com and get in touch with Chris Lugo and his great staff over there. Nutrition, testosterone, losing weight, all kinds, just getting in better shape, getting your immune system up and ready to go during all this flu season. Great place to do it. Bay Area Modern Medical Center. They will take care of you. Modern techniques, not the old silly stuff, folks. The modern stuff. And he thinks out of the box and will get you healthy, including if you have any COVID issues as well. So go to BAMMC.com and get your appointment now. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports, who covers those South Florida Bulls, those crazy Bulls, who are now back to 4-4.
There you go.
Nothing like a good fight song. What's up, Leo? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, JP, and slow week for me. I got a bye week, and the Bucs play Thursday, so, went out to practice.
Got the weekend off. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know. Hey, let's do wings. Remember, you owe me.
I owe you wings. Yes, absolutely. Got to get that done. No question. Come on out to the patio on Friday night. I'll buy you some wings.
Well, actually, we're going to be out there tomorrow night, right?
Nope, tomorrow, Friday night. Thursday night, I got a Lightning game tomorrow, so I got to go do my other job. So, right. But they are going to be open at the patio tomorrow, so it's going to be. They have the Bills Mafia that loves to come watch games there. So if you're a Bucs fan, I'd be going there. I'd overrun the patio with Bucs fans and shout down the Bills fan. Be like you're at the game. Be like, except it's not 12 degrees. So yeah,
absolutely,
be a fun time. But come Friday night, we'll be there 5 to 7, our usual Friday night, and they got a big costume contest. So bring your Halloween costume, Leo, whatever you want to be. Could win $1,500 first prize.
I can just go with this face. They'll think it's a costume. Come on, guys.
You might be a winner.
Here we go.
Might be
Ready?
a winner.
You got to do that. You got to do the one where you duck down a little bit. You know, you got to.
There you go. Scared the hell out of me.
Scary.
All right, Leo,
what,
let's talk about this big come from behind win in the fourth quarter for USF that may have. I mean, if they get a bowl bid, obviously this is going to be the comeback that will have done it for them.
Oh, let's be really honest about this game. It was a gut check. They're down 21-10. That team could have folded the tent and said, hey, same as last year, let's just lick our wounds and go home 3-5. They didn't. And that's a testimony to Coach Golish, a testimony to those players. They decided. Now, people are going to say, well, it was Connecticut. I don't care if it was Good Sisters of the Poor. A win is a win. They got to 4-4, and this team desperately needed that win because it was just it was going south in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean, you had the defense that causes turnovers, and that's the key. And they were able to get off the field. And in fact, people will say, well, USF gets down 21-10, but after that, USF's defense allowed nothing. They kept USF's offense in the game, right?
Oh, absolutely. And football's a crazy game, guys. And you can watch a game for 3 quarters and nothing's going right, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, you get a positive play. Then you get another positive play, and all of a sudden, good old Mo comes to your side, and that's huge. So, yeah, the defense did it, and the offense took that and stepped up. I think that was huge.
Leo, this this program obviously is in a rebuild mode, and moments like this can give teams confidence. We've seen this time and time again because I mean you got to get momentum, you got to get some good feelings going, and even though it is a 1-6 UConn team, what can this do for the confidence of this team moving forward?
Oh, it's tremendous! It's huge, and it's the way they won. If they would have won, 35-7, okay, so what? But they came from behind. They came from behind in the rain, in the cold, north of the Mason-Dixon line. Okay? Yeah. They checked a lot of boxes that we haven't seen them do in the past. So, yeah, JP, that was huge.
I think the other thing that was huge was one of the defensive leaders of this team, Jalen Stokes, nearly causing 3 turnovers, only getting credit for 2. Talk about his play last Saturday.
Boy, I'll tell you what, it's kind of crazy what you see happening right now with the Bulls because, 2-3 weeks ago, we'd have said that defense was just in shambles. In fact, I asked the defensive coordinator, Coach Orlando, I said, you don't have one breakdown, you got multiple breakdowns. How hard is that to fix? He said, that's really tough. Because, as like I said with you, with the fingers and you-know-what, but we're going to stay off of that again. But when they got so many holes they had to fill, that the fact that they hold the team, you hold a team in their 20s right now, it's a pretty good defensive effort on the part of your defense, just the way that college football is developing.
And going back to Stokes, he was getting chewed out by Coach Golish during the Rice game, and that game was in hand, and he's still coaching him up. I tell you what, guys, let's do something really quick. Let's go out to Coach Golish and what he thought about Jalen Stokes here on the J.P. Peterson Show. Here we go.
Yeah, Jalen is a guy that is so young in his football life in terms of this is the first year he's playing. We're asking him to do a lot. We're asking him to lead in the back end. I think what he brings is a physicality to our defense, and for him to be able to do what he did in pass defense today, really had another one there that got called back. Just really proud of his growth. He's got all the intangibles to be a really high-end leader for us. I think he's continued to work through what his process looks like and slowly but surely earning the right to lead. But when Jalen's process is right, it looks like it looked today, and early in the season I felt like it was that way. I felt like it was that way today. I think for years to come he should be a really consistent piece of our defense and certainly one that leads both vocally and the way he plays.
Well, that's these are the guys that are going to make this program what it is. The younger players that are growing up this year. Leo, talk about some of the the freshmen, the sophomores, the younger players. And Byron Brown obviously is part of that as a sophomore here. moving forward. This is a team that they can grow these young players into a pretty damn good football team, hopefully.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what, guys? It all starts at quarterback, whether you like it or not. And you know what? Watch the portal next year, because Alabama will have their pick of the litter, because every quarterback in the country is going to want to go to Alabama, because that's what they don't have right now.
Right, exactly.
So USF has that guy, and they're going to have him for a couple more years at least. So, yeah.
If he doesn't leave.
Yeah, huh?
If he doesn't leave.
Boy, if he doesn't go to Alabama, you're right. You know, that's the problem, guys, today. You got to not only recruit your players.
You got to retain them.
You got to retain them. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the hard thing. And it's kind of crazy, but
you got to have some money for that, Leo. You got to have some scratch.
Well, here's the thing we found out, because I was asking Brown about this, and he kind of mentioned something about the coaches telling him in so many words that he needs to stay in the pocket. In fact, let's go out to Byron Brown here last Saturday at the presser on the post game here on the JP Peterson show. Here we go.
I'm gonna say, don't start off too slow. We start off slow, and I start off slow. I take that full responsibility. Just got to come out faster, and I think what I need to work on is just continue to trust the guys up front and stay in the pocket. I mean, that's been my emphasis for a couple weeks now. I feel like I'm doing a great job getting the guys to rally and get people excited to go make a play, count on me attitude. So just continue to be that leader and continue to stay in the pocket and deliver the ball. A little difficult because, I'm always like, I can make a play, but sometimes that play is not with my feet, it's with my arm, and getting into the guys out on the perimeter.
So there you go. I mean, we learned something new that, the reason why, and a lot of fans were asking this, a lot of people like us were asking this as sports broadcasters, why isn't he running more? Well, the coaches are telling him, look, we want you to throw from the pocket. How surprised are you by that admission from Brown, Leo?
Well, after the 2 targeting calls that they got on him the week before, I got a feeling Golish and Coach Gordon, who is going to join us one day for lunch sometime.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We're going over. We're going to go over to Ferg's and have lunch because
buy
he's
the
never
wings.
been there. Yeah. So I heard that before, but that's another story.
I invited you out Friday night. Wings on me. Let's go.
Friday night, Leo. Friday night.
I hear you.
All
but
right.
You know what? What we're seeing now is these quarterbacks have to stay in the pocket because they can't take the hits that they're getting, and they're getting multiple hits, and that's what they don't want to see, because we found out that when Brown went down, they got a backup, but it's a big drop off.
You guys want to hear from Coach Golish on what he thinks about Brown, his performance overall, and then also what he thinks about, because it's kind of telling here how much Golish definitely respects Brown. Here we go.
I think Byram continues to just kind of hang in there. I thought early in the game, I don't know that he ever got settled. I thought it was going really fast for him. And I think a lot of that is because the picture kept changing defensively. Like I said, I give a lot of credit to UConn. I thought they had a good plan. I thought the plan to change pictures consistently and not give you a consistent defensive look sped Byram up a little bit. And Byram, who he is just a tough, gritty, really, really smart young guy. He doesn't allow the previous play to affect his next one, which is like a crazy, crazy hard trait to possess, especially when you're young, especially when you hadn't played a ton of football. He's just resilient. He's easy to communicate with on the sideline. He's easy to communicate what he saw. He'll tell you the truth. He'll tell you what he saw. He'll tell you when he knows he was wrong. He plays with a really, really cool energy. That's what I've seen through 8 weeks. On top of being an incredibly tough football player, mentally and physically, he doesn't say a whole lot. He continues to just be really, really good with what his habits look like, with how he prepares. He's played a ton of snaps. We've run him a ton. He's created his own run game a ton. He's taken a lot of crazy hits. And he just keeps getting up. It's like the craziest thing. I don't know, man. I want to recruit more guys like him. And there's something intangibly in there that continues to allow him to fight. I'm really proud of him. He's tough as can be, sets a great example for everybody else. I'm really happy he's our quarterback.
You know what, JP? Before we go on, we have to tell people something. That's the Peter and Leo presser.
Yeah.
Because we're the only two on. And there's one other guy that shows up. But your co-host asked the greatest questions of the coach and the players, and it's just the two of us. So,
Well, there you go. We appreciate
crazy.
that. Maybe we can get the coach on the show.
Oh,
you guys can go at it.
I don't think that'd be a problem. We probably do. You know what, guys? Before we get off, I want to cover this. 4 games left. They're 4-4. Let's be realistic. Memphis on the road, probably a loss.
They're 5-2. Memphis, good team. Yeah.
Yeah. Temple at home, probably a win. Now,
they're 2-6. They're awful. Yeah, we should beat them.
5-5. They go to play Texas San Antonio on a Friday night. That's a coin flip because you don't know what's going on. So they could be coming in either 5-6. The last home game was Charlotte, needing a win to be bowl eligible, or they could be bowl eligible. If you'd have taken me at the beginning of the year and said, hey, 6-6, I said, or 7-5 even, I said, come on, you got to be smoking something. But you know what? If they don't go to a bowl game, okay. If they're eligible for a bowl game, that's the best thing, because think about the recruiting. You tell a kid, look, we were 6-6. We came from 1-11, got bowl eligible. You come in, we're looking at 8, 9, maybe 10 wins. That's huge for recruiting.
And what do you think about Army joining the AAC? That just broke about an hour ago. Of course, Army-Navy being the big-time matchup, but how does that help that program out, in your opinion?
Oh, God, yeah. You talk about a fan base that's not national, but international. And I got our buddies Randy Harris into the Army-Navy game this year. He's never been, so I said, I'll get you in. So he's going up to Boston. Of all places, they're playing it in Foxborough, the worst place to get in and out in the world.
Besides Tropicana.
Yeah. JP, have you ever been to an Army-Navy game?
I have, actually. Yeah, I went to I've been to 3 of them, actually.
Yeah.
I've been to them in
Philly.
Yeah,
I think
we
I
were
ran
Philly,
into you.
and then I went to Philly a couple times, and then Washington, D.C. They played at the old RFK Stadium, which was really cool.
It's bucket list, isn't it?
Oh, my God. It was really, for me, I would put it in, and I've been so blessed to cover some amazing events, but I would definitely put it in the top 5. I mean, it is a spectacle from the pregame walker. What do they call that? The walk on, the cadets walk on.
The march on.
The march on. There's just so many cool little things, for their fallen brothers. They have the, open seats on the sideline with their uniforms. There's so many symbolic things that happen, and just the entire feeling of this day, they are your opponents, but on any other day, they are literally your brothers who hold their lives in your hand. I mean, think about that for a second. They're not just teammates. I mean, and not just an opponents. They're working together with each other's lives in their hands, which would become much more real here in the coming years, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I crucified a media member one time because he said it was the best high school game in Philadelphia. I said,
shut the F up.
Understand this. These guys are undefeated in what matters, and that's the events that have a Roman numeral after it, like World War I, World War II. Think about that. They don't lose those.
The next matchup is going to be quite challenging since, unfortunately, the people they're working for don't have their best interests in mind. But that's another story for another day. These guys are heroes. They're, and for anybody, I talked about this yesterday, how people have just completely lost perspective on life. And you want to say this is a high school game, and you want to go deify the NFL players or, the big time college football players, and you want to kiss their ass and jock sniff them and then, piss on these guys because it looks like a high school game to you. You're an idiot. You're a moron. I'd like to look that dude right in the face and tell him what the world is about, because these guys in Army Navy have more cojones than the entire teams combined of your number 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the nation. Okay. It's not even close. So the world isn't all about money and fame and celebrity and how many touchdowns you can score and how many followers you have on your Instagram. There's a little bit more to it when you drill it on down. So if you're a media member and you're pissing on the Army Navy game, think twice.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to ask you this, Leo. What do you think about the situation, speaking of idiotic, in Michigan right now? I mean, it certainly seems like there's been some cheating going on. You talk about a military member there, supposedly an ex-Marine. I mean, that's the best way to go. Marines always get it done. They're always the first to fight, first to die. But in this case here, what do you think of the situation with Michigan? Are they going to have some severe penalties come down? Should they have some severe penalties, namely a Jim Harbaugh?
Well, you know what, guys? There's an old saying in football: if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And if they're videotaping, now they stepped over the line.
Mm-hmm.
I have no trouble with them sending a scout out and watching it, but he's out there with a video camera. They make sure they tell you beforehand at any level. You show up with a video camera. This is high school, college, pro, whatever. Cannot show up with a video camera at all unless you are with the team that's playing. So, yeah, this could be a problem, but I don't know. The NCAA's got more things to worry about than Jim Harbaugh filming a daggone scouting game. You know, they're falling apart in terms of I expect the NCAA to vanish in a couple of years because the Power Four are just going to say, hey, why are we
this has nothing to do with the NCAA, Leo. This has everything to do with the Big Ten. This is a Big Ten rule.
Right.
You know, and listen, can you scout ahead? They're using technology to do this. Other teams can do it if they want to. I happen to think it's a pretty damn big advantage. You know, I also happen to think that, you know, it just so happens that, you know, after Michigan lost 8 in a row to Ohio State, that they started this surveillance program. And since then, they've beaten Ohio State twice. The first time they've beaten them in forever. So do you think that's a coincidence? No.
Oh, no. And
no, I don't think it's a coincidence at all.
No.
And if you know what the other team's doing, it's a significant advantage. Let's just be honest. Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's how you solve it. How'd the NFL solve it? They put the daggone earpiece in the quarterback's helmet. They put the earpiece in the middle linebacker. Stop the signals from the sideline. Just get a helmet.
You know what, Leo? But here's the other part about that, and we'll find out about this, that the Patriots have been doing this for quite some time.
Oh,
you can get into people's headset and listen to them as well. If you're willing to, and I've actually talked to NFL communications people who do these headsets on the sideline, and I asked them point blank. I said, if you wanted to tap into your opponent's headsets, how hard would it be? He said it wouldn't be hard at all. These things, he goes, it's not. You just need the codes, and it's not hard to get them. It's very easy to do. You have to have the want to. You have to have the lack of morals and lack of ethics and lack of good sportsmanship to want to do it. And clearly that's where Michigan's at. Clearly that's where Jim Harbaugh's at, and they should be punished for it.
Yeah, because he comes from that NFL mentality of everything's legal.
Yeah.
And again, if anybody doesn't think that the New England Patriots, I've had people say that they were on the sidelines and when they had the lead, their headsets would shut off from upstairs. And
happened all the time in Foxborough. And people just like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Charlie Weiss told Rondé Barber after a game, who said, we knew every one of your plays you were running on defense, and we still couldn't beat you. He's like, you did? Oh, that's interesting. How'd you know that?
Yeah. Do you think this forces out Harbaugh to go to the NFL? Because I think the perfect scenario is for him to end up with the Chicago Bears and possibly a Caleb Williams or Michael Penix. I mean, could you see that happening? Could you see Harbaugh saying, you know what, this is not worth it anymore. I could take my wares to the NFL. And I feel like Harbaugh has more success there in that league anyway in the first place. Plus, he can get the most out of a quarterback.
Peter, especially if he wins the national championship this year. Now he rides off in that white horse, goes to the Bears, and guess what the Bears have? The number 1 pick and another one behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to do what Houston did. You know, everybody laughed at Houston. You know, they had those 2 early picks, and they got Anderson, they got Stroud. Look what that did. That turned that puppy around in a hurry.
Damn right.
So, yeah, I think they got to decide, you know, are they moving away from their coach? Are they moving away from the quarterback? And if they're not, make a phone call up to Michigan, see if Ann Arbor wants to move to Chicago.
As long as he doesn't come to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't take him? You would not take Jim Harbaugh and his offensive prowess with what he's done. Think about this, JP. We were talking about this in the press box. What he's done with quarterbacks in the past. Alex Smith, Guy was a number 1 overall pick, could never get out of his way after he was under Harbaugh for that offensive system, turned into a Pro Bowl type of quarterback. Look what he did with Colin Kaepernick. You would not take – I get it, his attitude, whatever else, but maybe you need that.
He's a whack job. He's a whack job. I think his and it's been a while since he's been in the NFL game. And I think there's a reason he got out. And the players have changed. And I don't think his act would play in the NFL anymore. Sorry, I don't think so. I just don't. It just – these guys are too individualistic. They're not listening. They ain't listening to some wacko in khakis. I'm telling you, the dude has no personable skills whatsoever.
Right.
He's nothing like his brother. I just don't think he's be a disaster with the media. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. He's a good football coach. I am not going to say he's not, but it takes more than that these days. You have to have relationships with players. You got to be authentic. I think it works in college, but I don't think it'll work in the NFL anymore. Just my opinion.
You know what, guys? If you ever been on an interview with Jim Harbaugh, there's only one person worse, and that's Chip Kelly. He gives you 1- and 2-word answers. Hey, Bill Belichick looks like a wordsmith compared to what Jim Harbaugh does.
For our good friend T.J. Reeves' sake, we cannot have Jim Harbaugh here because he.
Oh, wait a second. Get the nails out. We're getting ready to crucify him.
And Casey Phillips would have to do a hour-long show with Jim Harbaugh. Oh my God.
She may age 20 years in that day. So yeah.
Guys,
don't do that to her. She's too nice.
Who would you rather have, Belichick or Harbaugh at this point? Belichick, right?
Oh yeah, only because you know what you're getting. With Harbaugh, who's involved with all this? And again, it's got to start with the head coach. Yeah. If he doesn't know, now you're running a program that's completely off the reservation. Can I say that anymore? Okay, I'm sorry.
Probably not.
Okay.
You could say it on this show. Nobody's offended. We're all big boys here. We can handle these things. But would you want Belichick? But for some reason, Kraft said that's enough. I'm not doing it, and he was available in bowls.
No,
I don't either, man. I think the game has kind of passed him by too.
Well, you know what? Why do you want someone else's laundry? I think right now, if the Bucs happen to, and again, I'm going to ask Baker Mayfield one of these days. Yesterday was not that day, but all the pundits and all the gambling casinos picked you anywhere from 2 to 6 wins. How do you stay above that noise, you and your teammates? Because, they're human. They got to hear that. And then all of a sudden, now they got to right the ship. They got to get that. And I don't think they're going to be able to do it in Buffalo.
No, it's a short week. Hope road teams are just. This could be honestly, this could be a freaking disaster for the Buccaneers.
It could be.
I mean, it could get or they could win the game. This no freaking logic league. Buffalo might just take them so lightly that they it's a short week. We got them coming in. We get the mini bye. We're like, okay, we'll just let's get this W and get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. And the Bucs might, come in and really finally play a game which they're capable of playing and maybe make some personnel changes because I'm here to tell you, Leo, and this is where it comes down to coaching for me. Do you have the stones to make the personnel choices that need to be made? Devin White needs to come off the field and Servassier Dennis needs a shot because Devin White is a pair of shoes right now. He's a terrible, he's cost you key plays, the Algier play, basic football. You don't come up on the quarterback until he gets over the line of scrimmage, especially when there's one of your teammates chasing it. You don't come off your man. 46-yard play, crusher. And, he's bad. He's a bad football player right now.
He's not a cover guy, and we knew that. And I'll tell you what, JP.
But they won't do it. They won't take him off the field. They won't take Matt Filer off the field. Well, they will now because he's injured. They won't take JTS off the field. They won't take guys they won't take Ryan Neal off the field. These guys are playing terrible football. There's guys behind them that can play, and this coaching staff, for whatever reason, won't make changes, even when it's evident to everybody that this particular player is not getting it done. And it's not anything personal on these players. It's your tape, bro. It's your tape. Look at how you're playing. Everybody can see it. We all got the all 22. I sit here and watch it the other night with my mouth this guy thinks he's a $20 million linebacker.
No. And hey, And that one-eyed monster in the sky doesn't lie. He tells you the truth. And I'll tell you what, Peter, you need to show one of these days, but maybe before the game, the interview question I had with Baker Mayfield. He had 2 telling points. He said, you know what? You're never physically ready to play Thursday night. No. But here's the second thing he said. We're going into this game figuring they don't have any time to change things, which he's probably right about. Because I asked him, I said, how do you squeeze 4 games into 2? He said, you don't. You just have to do mental reps. You have to do this. So what you see from the Bills is what you're going to get. But same with the Bucs.
Same with the Bucs,
yeah. So that's what scares me.
Even if they have 2 weeks to prepare, they don't change anything. So,
well, I tell you right now, guys, if they don't put on a good performance, I feel like there's going to be some changes that are going to have to be made. And, there's a trading deadline out there. Derrick Henry has been, talked about. Rashard Penny has been talked about. I mean, for me, if your running game cannot be successful versus the 31st rushing defense in the National Football League, whether it's your offensive line or the running backs, you got to make changes. You got to make wholesale changes. To answer your question, Leo, we do have the Baker sound coming up here.
Yeah, we're going to play that in a little bit.
Yeah. We got you.
And you know what, Peter? You bring up a great point because I asked Canales the same thing. I said a quarterback's best friend is an offensive line, a good running game, and a tight end. And I said, you got problems there.
You got none of that.
Exactly. You've got none of it. I said, is there a quick fix or a work in progress? And I'll tell you what about Dave Canales. He's honest with you. He says it's a work in progress.
Yeah, of course it is.
We just got to get this thing
going. I like that. At least he's not, no, I know what the problem is, but I'm not going to tell you guys, like the head coach says.
Yeah, absolutely. But, hey, JP,
all right, we know the answer, Coach. We already know whose fault it is. Don't worry.
Before we get off, great performance by the Lightning after that Saturday debacle.
Yeah. Really good stuff last night. I thought their most complete game defensively against, a tired opponent. I get it. Carolina was on the back end of a long road trip, but that's okay. The Lightning did what they had to do, and that was impressive last night. Now they need to build on that defensively and move forward. So, we'll see what they got. San Jose coming in tomorrow night, 0-5, 0-5-1, hasn't won a game. Get your 2 points, and keep doing what you do. It's not about them. It's about you. Do what you do. Keep playing that same defense. Get those 2 points, and then you'll have 7 out of 8 on the homestand, which ain't too bad.
Yeah, and you know what? When you got back to that first game and they got behind in the homestand, Kucherov just flat out took over the game.
Yeah,
I've never seen that. But the one thing that I thought was impressive last night was all 3 goals were late in the period. So they were playing hard the whole time.
Yeah,
that was good.
They're playing hard. All right, Leo, tell everybody how they can get your content, my friend.
Hey, go to Amped Up Sports. Go to Twitter, Amped Up Sports. Boy, I'll tell you, I got a rant today about Thursday night football, which is terrible football, no matter who's playing, on how to fix it. And it's a real easy fix. Bye week for both teams before they play that. Mandatory. Hey, Lloyd Howell Jr. with the NFLPA. I hope you're listening because you better book it, Dano.
I like it. Good job, Leo. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and get into a little bit more Bucs talk with Baker Mayfield. We'll hear from him. We'll hear from Dave Canales as well. We'll do some college football as a big weekend coming up for our Florida Gators, taking on number 1 ranked Georgia. We're brought to you by The Patio. Big Halloween contest coming up on Friday night. $2,500 cash prizes, $1,500 for first place. That's a lot of money. Cash prize. We're going to hand it to you right there. And I know one of the judges, too.
Wow. Oh, you're one of the judges. Okay.
I do accept bribes, by the way. I do accept bribes. I want that known. I want that out there. So we'll split the money.
Let's do it.
I'm kidding. Bring your best costumes. And then we got $5 White Claws all night long. So big party at the patio on Friday night. Of course, big party tomorrow night as well for Bills Mafia. We'll be out there watching the game. So Buck fans, let's overwhelm them at the patio. We'll get a little back and forth going on. That'll be fun. Great place to watch the games under the stars. Great weather out there. Great outdoor space. Got some indoor space too. It's the patio where everybody gathers. 421 South McDill. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson show here on this hump day. Man, it's kind of a weird week, Peter Blake, as we have Buccaneers football tomorrow night, Lightning hockey tomorrow night against San Jose. So I'll be there doing my thing. Head on out to the patio to watch it. That'll be fun. So I'll be keeping my eye on both games, and then we'll report back on Friday morning. So
nice, good
and
stuff.
This weekend you got Florida, Georgia, FSU, Wake Forest, which has been an issue for them for many years, but finally not this year. They're 20-point favorites. Boy, college football is as interesting as it's ever been on so many levels because so many good teams, and the NFL is an interesting, weird product this year. Is it not?
It is. It's very weird. You don't see a lot of offensive points. You can't really get a projection on who is one of the top teams in the National Football League. It's a week-by-week league, as our good friend TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network has stated so many times. I mean, you look at it, San Francisco losing to the Minnesota Vikings the other night. Did you think that? Not necessarily.
Nope.
I mean, the Dolphins looking like a strong contender until they meet Philadelphia. Philadelphia loses to the Jets. So, and then offensive numbers are down across the board. With all these rules, favoring offensive, metrics and all this other stuff, offensive scores. You're not seeing that right now. What's going on? Is it bad quarterbacking? Is it too many penalties? What is it? Because it's not a great brand of football. And if you watch last Sunday in the press box, like we had the privilege of doing, or probably the misery of doing, watching both of those teams on the field play offense, I felt like they set offenses back 30 years. I mean,
I heard Peyton Manning talk about this and a couple other older fellas. And they, one of the things they bring up is lack of practice. You know, these guys don't practice anymore, and they don't practice, and they don't practice at full speed. Like, you look at preseason, guys never play. Back in the day, you'd play a few series on the first of all, there were 4. There used to be 6 preseason games, which is ridiculous. But they play, probably 3 or 4 series the first game. Then they play the entire first half, the second game. Then they play into the third quarter, the third game, and then they'd rest the fourth game for the most part. These teams, they play. Baker Mayfield played one series with the ones. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you can't. Football is a game of repetition and precision, especially offensively. Defensively, it's not. Defensively, it's a game of aggression and chess. Being smart and prepared for what you're coming after. Like red zone, for instance, the windows are so small. They're so small. Like I call them prison windows, right? You need precision route running. You need precision passing, and that takes reps and reps and reps and reps and reps, which you might have gotten, by the way. If you can't put the pads on, right? You can still practice. There's no restrictions on practice. But, our coaches give them 7 days off in a week instead of, they're only supposed to have 4 days off. Why are you not in there on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, running 1,000 routes? And, the quarterback's arm might get a little sore. It's like they don't practice. Everything is so soft. And offensively, you can't get precision down if you're not practicing and you're not out there doing what you need to do. How many less throws are there for quarterbacks to receivers than there used to be? A lot. And that's going to, if you can't hit your receivers down the field with precision, you're not going to be scoring points.
Let me ask you this question, because I posted this on my Facebook page, and I should have probably posted it on our Twitter page there in the JP Peterson Show. What's your biggest disappointment from that Falcon loss? Is it coaching and play calling? Is it offensive line and lack of running game? Is it quarterback play, or is it Ryan Dean and the defense? Or Ryan Neal, Ryan Neal. Jamel Dean not showing up again. But
Ryan Dean, combine the two of them. They're both a pair of shoes. Yeah.
I mean, what's your biggest disappointment, JP, out of that whole – and a lot of people said most of the above, all the above.
I think the question, is more like it's not the what, right? It's the why.
Right.
Why? That's what's interesting to talk about. We all know what the problems are, but why is it happening? Why can't they run the football? Well, because they do the same stuff all the time with the same people. You got to switch things up. You got to do things differently. If it's not working, try something else. It's insanity, right?
Yes.
So why is the defense giving up big plays at key times? Well, because they're attacking the same player, Ryan Neal, in key situations, and Devin White. That's coaching. Go after the weakest links. Go after the weakest links. You know how you hide your weak links? Get them off the field, number one. Put somebody else in there. Number two, cover them up. If you know where your weak links are, give them help. Call defenses where they're not, where the offense can't pick on them as easily. That's what great coaches do. They hide their weaknesses and they accentuate their positives, and they attack the weaknesses of the other team. We don't see a lot of that from at least the tape that I'm watching. So there's a lot. It's personnel right now for the Bucs. I think coaching is a big part of it. They're just not prepared. They look like a team that is not prepared to anticipate what the other team is going to do and to take advantage of it.
Some people would say quarterback play because Baker Mayfield and Ilavai's throw there in the red zone.
If one play, I went through the entire tape, and Baker's not perfect. No, he missed some throws. You know what else? Bad routes, bad play calling, busted plays, missed blocks, drop passes. I mean, it's everybody wants a quarterback to play perfectly. And when he doesn't, it's, the quarterback sucks. We need a new one. Go look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen doesn't play a perfect game. And by the way, these backup quarterbacks did pretty well last week, didn't they? Tyrod Taylor, Badgett at Tyson Badgett at Chicago, finally get a win. Maybe it's not so much about the quarterback. Everybody want to say it's a quarterback and coach league, and I get that. But how many Patrick Mahomes are there? One, last time I checked.
Right.
I mean, go look around. Every one of these quarterbacks has worse. Justin Herbert can't win a game. Just Josh Allen, has too many turnovers. Jalen Hurts he's great because of what they put around him. Look at what's around him, man. Yeah. That roster's freaking unbelievable. I tell you what, Baker Mayfield would look damn good with that offensive line and that running game from the Eagles and that defense and those weapons. He'd look damn good. So you can bang on Baker all you want, but the team around him look at the offense around him. I mean, are you kidding me? They have no tight ends whatsoever that can block or threaten anybody. None, which is a key piece in the NFL. You have an interior line that couldn't block, anybody.
You and me.
Anybody.
We could get after it.
You got a first-year play caller who's creative but struggling. You've got two really good wideouts in Evans and Godwin. But I would say that Evans has dropped way too many passes this year and key passes. And I would say Godwin looks like he's lost a step in terms of his explosion and getting open. But it's still a damn good elite receiver. Behind those guys, you got a bunch of role players. You got no running backs to speak of that scare anybody. But yet you want Baker Mayfield to look like Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. Not going to happen, folks. Not going to happen. Baker Mayfield is not Patrick Mahomes, and there's not many of them. You got to surround him with some weapons. You got to help the guy. We said that coming in. Baker Mayfield is good enough to win this division if he has a running game, if they have some creativity and scheme people open and he can find guys. Well, guess what? Since the first couple of weeks, that's not happening anymore. You got to anticipate. You have to, the chess game is on. They know what you're doing, what you're trying to do. Even Atlanta knew, take away Evans and Godwin, see if they can beat us with these other jamokes. Guess what? You can't. So everybody's got to step up. You got to play. You got to make plays. Keyshawn Vaughn, when you get a chance in the open field to catch a freaking football, catch it and run. Rashad White, when you get 13 carries, do something with them. Do something with them. Guys got to make plays. It can't just be, well, let's sit here and wait till Baker Mayfield makes a play. And if he doesn't, he sucks.
Yeah.
Come on, people, be a little bit more sophisticated in your analysis here. Okay? Come on.
Well, they're saying Trask time. That's what they're saying. And it's like, do you think Kyle Trask would do any better? In fact, I think this team actually may have 0 wins with Kyle Trask being a rookie quarterback.
The answer to that question is I don't know, but my guess is I don't think so because, is he going to be that much better than Baker Mayfield throwing the football under duress, which Baker has been under duress? And here's something that just boggles my mind. And I don't know what's going on with Nick Leverett. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if, I don't know if he's gained weight. I have no idea, but I watched him play last year at left guard and he was above average. So now Aaron Stinney, who hasn't played left guard, he's
right. And then Thomas goes,
so Aaron Stinney starting at left guard, which is better than Filer. Okay, right. So I give you credit for that. But Nick Leverett played left guard. Like what did Nick Leverett? When I see him in the dressing room, I'm going to ask him, dude, what did you do to Todd Bowles? What the hell? The guy played well. I saw him play well last year.
Right.
And he brings some energy to the team. He's always.
Well, maybe JP, you put him at center eventually because
hopefully that's it. Hopefully he's starting at center, and that's why Stinney's okay. All right, hopefully, but you know what? That ain't happening.
Maybe that happens because eventually you're gonna have to make changes, and people go, "Well, you have to run the ball more." You can't run the ball when you put yourself in those third down situations. If you're only gaining 1 or 2 yards on first down and second down, you're into a situation where it's 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9, or you're possibly losing yards on those early downs. You're putting your offense into already a terrible situation. You want to keep those third downs manageable at the end of it, don't you?
Yeah, TJC says absolutely. I mean, you can't, 3rd and 8 is, I can't make a living. It's like pars, pros putting for 8-foot pars. You can't make a living that way. And 3rd and 8 is no way to make a living in the NFL. Yeah, TJC. We'd heard he's the backup center, and again, Hainsey's been terrible.
Yep.
So hopefully, Stenny at left guard is a precursor to Nick Leverett playing center. So,
biggest loss on this team is Ryan Jensen by far. That because not only the physicality, because look, he's not what he was a couple years ago, right? But he's got the attitude. He's still mobile enough. He's still athletic enough. And he's, again, the attitude for me, I want to rip your head off. That is not on this team. You talked about it on Sunday on the postgame show live from Raymond James.
Yeah, certainly not. No, this team is soft. Yeah. This team is soft. And that's the number one overall issue I have. The coaching is soft. The team is soft. It's not a balls out team. You go in the locker room, it's like, where's it took Antoine Winfield Jr., who is as quiet as a mouse. He's the one who had to step up and say, to look these guys in the eye and say, hey, can we be better than this? Can we just have a little bit more stones and will our way to a win? And I feel sorry for him because he's out there balling his ass off. And the rest of the guys are just, they're playing with their thumb up their ass. It's like, it's ridiculous to watch. You turn on this tape and watch guys just walking around. No fire, no juice at all. None. Like Antoine Winfield's running around like look at the effort. Well, you turn on the tape. That's why Bowles said this the other day. If we had everybody playing like well, it's your job to get them to play that way, man. Come on, fire their ass up. It's an emotional sport. Your defense, Lante David is out there running around and Winfield's out there running around. The rest of the guys are just like, there's no fire, no nothing, man. Come on, somebody get mad. Like Baker Mayfield said, we need to play pissed off. Somebody throw a chair. You go in the locker room after the game and it's like, I don't know.
Well, I tell you right now, it could be a direct reflection of Bowles. I mean,
you walk. I'll say this as an experienced reporter. I remember walking into, games after the Bucs. The Derek Brooks group would lose a game, and Sapp and Rondé and Lynch. You just walking up to Lynch, you just felt an intensity like this, like these guys were effing pissed off. They were angry. There was a palpable edge in the locker room. Like we are pissed off. You walk into this locker room and they're, putting on the jewelry and their cool shades and, getting dressed up in their outfit and, heading out, for the post-game party. And I know that's a lot of this, more of this generation. I get it, but that's just the sense you get. All right, let me go pick up my check, put on my Louis, and put my $12,000 shoes on and head out the door.
By the way, you had Gucci glasses on, by the way, at the press box a couple of weeks ago. Leo Haggerty.
Wow.
Well, yeah. It's white bottom Gucci glasses, which was kind of cool. But yeah, you're exactly right. I mean,
they were knockoffs. Who would spend that kind of money on a pair of glasses?
I think his wife really loves him, and she would have to with all the events he covers. And you always eat well around Leo, by the way. So wife's gonna put up with it. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm here for you.
This is a great comment from one of our Facebook users. Where is it? Here, right here. Get Bruce Arians in there as a guest speaker in the locker room.
By the way, that's Zach Mitchell, big time Lightning fan. Happy with the Lightning talk here. He loves it. He loves you, and of course,
thanks, Zach. Appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah.
TJC 22. Who the hell are you, by the way? You're a really smart football guy. I need to know who the hell you are and what your background is because you really know the game of football. What's interesting is they can't run it all, of course. So maybe get some form of screen game going, you think, but nope. They run it at a 7% clip, 7th lowest in the league, at a 34% success rate, 9th lowest in the league. Yeah, these are all analytic numbers that just back up what your eyes tell you. And Baker said it yesterday, and I think it took a lot of people by surprise. Is one of the reasons I bet the over on his attempts and passing yards in the last game, because everybody knows right now that the Bucs have to go to the passing game. They've got no running game, and everybody knows it. So they have to throw the football, and they're no longer a run first team. They're a pass first team. They should be a pass first team because they can't run the football. So set up the run by passing the football. Screen game. How many screens did we run last game?
0, I think.
I mean, we checked it down to 2 a couple times. There was one that was kind of a 2-man blocking screen, not a full screen, maybe even a 1-man screen that Rashad White did a great job with, by the way. Hainsey whiffed on his block, but Rashad did such a great job of setting up the defender that the guy fell down. Hainsey never hit him, but at least Rashad White could hide behind Hainsey. He didn't actually block anybody, but he hid behind him and used him as a screen to get a few yards. So, yeah, thanks.
I got to read this one right here. Need Herb Brooks or Miracle on Ice to call someone out for being a candy ass. By the way, in that movie, who played him?
That was Dennis Quaid. No.
Dennis Quaid played in The Rookie. Dennis Quaid played in Any Given Sunday, but that was actually Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, yeah. I always get Dennis Quaid and Kurt Russell mixed up. Always.
Pretty good pair, by the way. I mean, both guys can play in any sports movie ever.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So,
yeah, said the eyes tell you they stink at running no matter what personnel is on the field. Bingo. Yeah. So why keep doing it? You know, it's just you don't have to run the football. That is a misnomer. You don't have to run. You could screen game. You can do a lot of short passes, spread people out. That's your run game. You know, this is not 1955 where you have to turn around and hand off the ball. There's a lot of different ways to attack a defense, and it doesn't necessarily have to be by taking the football and running it up the middle behind guys who can't move anybody. So, and you don't want to say the Bills are the worst run up defense. Yeah, they are. We're the worst run offense. So, you know, using your weakness against their weakness is not necessarily a strength. So
something's got to give.
Yeah.
You would hope. You would definitely hope.
And it's plain as day why when you turn on the tape. Yeah. The interior guys can't move anybody. And if you're getting penetration every play, you can't run the football. It's just as simple as that. So
you want to go out to Baker here from yesterday?
Yes, let's do that.
All right, here we go.
Baker, saw you're on the injury report with the knee, and we know you've had a couple other bumps and bruises along the way. How you feeling in general?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was pretty sore. Less than 24 hours after the game. It's kind of how it always goes. But yeah, it just kind of re-aggravated what I did against the Saints. So nothing too bad. Just pain tolerance and move on.
You've had these Thursday games before. It's even trickier with the road game on Thursday. Is there a key that you found in terms of compacting your week into 3 days less and still doing what you need to do?
Yeah, for us, it's kind of the same thing that we've been talking about, how to have more success on offense. And so the short week for us is all about communicating, being on the same page. And with a defense like they present, they got a lot of pressure looks, good players, veteran guys that have a lot of experience. So we need to be on the same page. So that's kind of the motto when a short week comes, and just making sure that the over-communication part is not left.
Baker, generally speaking, when you went back and watched the film from the game, what were some of your takeaways?
Yeah, a few plays I'd like to have back, but yeah, we're just so close, and getting tired of saying that, but it's the truth. When you go back and watch it, it's one play here or there that's going to make the difference in us keeping drives sustained and or the big plays over the top to get those explosive plays. So we're close. Way too many penalties. That's really what stuck out when rewatching the film. Like I mentioned after the game, but when you rewatch it, it really did kill the drives and take away some good plays.
There are lots of teams that are struggling in the red zone right now in a tight space. For you, when you think about tight quarters like that, what do you think are the most important things to get more touchdowns and less field goals less?
As we take a little bit of a step back and look at it, just getting completions, kind of our third down recipe, getting the guys with the ball in their hands, let them break tackles. And so I think just too many incompletions down there, and obviously running the ball is going to help keep defenses balanced. So, finding completions.
So that was a fine line. I mean, you're trying that stick throw for a touchdown, and even Dave said they want you guys to be aggressive, right?
Yeah.
So as quarterback, you have to walk that almost every play at times.
Yeah, there's, especially in the red zone, you try and draw up these plays that get guys' eyes in the wrong spots, so you get a touchdown or a one-on-one throw. But they get paid too, so if it's covered, move on, and like I said, find completions and good things will happen.
Do you think your experience, Baker, on at this point, what has happened where you are, with a little bit of adversity, a couple of losses here, struggling a little bit to put points on the board, do you think that has helped you where you are right now?
Absolutely. You know, I think any of those experiences, you learn how to weather some of these storms, and you learn how to grow through them and handle them when certain situations come. So for right now, it's like we keep mentioning, just get our stuff fixed, be more detailed, fundamentally sound, and good things will happen. Because when you rewatch the losses, it's we've played good teams, but we haven't played our best. And so for us, it's about us playing our best ball and focusing on what we can control, and that's being fundamentally sound and doing our jobs.
Short week, you got to travel. How do you squeeze 4 days of preparation into two?
A lot of mental work. You never really get physically ready for these Thursday night games, but it's a lot of mental work during the week, and just like I mentioned earlier, over communicating, making sure we're on the same page, and just that preparation really never stops until game time. You get enough walkthroughs in to where you talk about pretty much every single look you might get, because most of the time you're not going to see anything new on a short week from them as well. So just making sure we're on the same page and communicate a lot.
It might be something, it might be nothing, but you guys are 2-0 on the road, and you struggle for some reason at home. 1-3. Good, maybe get away.
Yeah, I always love road games. Just being in an environment where it's just your team against everybody else, the fans included, and so you just enjoy that environment. And as competitors, you kind of thrive on that. So, yeah, we're looking to be really focused, play for each other, and go in and somehow find a way to win.
We talk about every week about getting the run game going, and you see things where we're a little off a block here or a run there. But like as a quarterback, it's just getting to be a heavy lift that every week. You have the longest run of the day, you know, the 31-yarder. Like you're not balanced in the sense that production-wise and getting behind the sticks and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously being able to run the ball efficiently definitely helps. You know, we've talked about how we need to be better. We all know that, but it's just little things here and there. Like we had a big run that was called back on a holding call. Some things that just, you know, we're kind of learning that we're not going to be a run-first team, but we're still going to do it when we need to. And so those are the times that we have to be targeting the right spots. Everybody's got to have a hat on a hat and just get the job done when we need to. But when it comes down to it, it's just execution. Whatever play's called, we have to find a way to make it work.
Did you feel like Rashad became a nice outlet, has become a nice outlet for you in the pass game?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a tremendous athlete, great hands, runs routes really well. You know, different than any running back. So he's a talented player that, you know, we're learning as we go too that he can be a weapon in the pass game.
What can you say about Chris Godwin? He's been efficient on third down for you, also taking some massive shots over the middle. What about him?
Chris is a stud, man. I've said it from the beginning. He's a pro's pro. Just how consistent he is through injuries, through everything. He's always consistent. So, yeah, pretty damn lucky to have him on our team. And, yeah, he just keeps making plays for us. So, like we said, finding completions, getting the ball in his hands, he's going to make plays.
You know, you have a veteran group, but the good news here, even though you guys have lost a couple in a row, it really does seem to be sort of this esprit de corps. Like everybody is pretty positive in this building. Is that kind of what the vibe you have?
It is because, like I've mentioned, we're looking at the mistakes that we've made. It's things that we can control. It's not like we're just lining up and getting beat scheme-wise or just physically. So it's for us, it's control what we can, fix those things, and see where this thing can go. And that's the accountability part that. I mean, Antoine Winfield hit it on the head after the game. Just how great do you want to be? And so, you know, we have a ton of leaders on this team, a lot of guys that have played a lot of ball. So let's do our jobs first and see where this thing goes.
So Antoine spoke to the team after the game, you mean?
He did. He's a key leader that obviously a ton of big plays in that game, and it's been consistent, obviously, here for a while. And, yeah, those guys we have to lean on and follow that leadership, and everybody else has to fall in line.
Playing the Bills means playing another quarterback from your class. Fun to play an old friend in Josh Allen?
Yeah, Josh is a great guy, tremendous athlete, great guy. It's just he's fun to watch. So hopefully not too much fun on Thursday, but yeah, it's always good to see him. Thanks, guys.
A lot of good stuff there from Baker. He talks about execution, and even Todd Bowles, you know, says this: the Bucs got to stop beating Bucs. That's you, man. That's the coaching. If you're not executing your plays, and you keep making mistakes and beating yourself, that's a mark of a poorly coached team.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and I just like, if I could just,
can they turn it around? I mean,
like, what are you doing? And I said this yesterday, like, it looks like you don't even practice, man. You're missing basic stuff. You're missing, guys can't line up right. What are you effing doing?
Yeah.
This is the NFL. How do you cover up another guy in a line of scrimmage? How do you have these pre-snap penalties all at home? That's that, and this. When I watch their practices, I'm like, man, they don't practice very hard. They don't practice with precision. They just don't. You know, when we get to see practice in training camp, I can only imagine how soft it is during the regular season. It's coaching. You know, this is why it looks like it does. Here's some interesting notes I want to get to before we hit the break. Some interesting Bucs metrics. This is from Joe Marino. It does Locked On Bills podcast. Saw this on Twitter. Tampa Bay is 4th highest in play action frequency percentage, but Mayfield is dead last in the NFL in passer rating with play action at 70.1. So they're doing it more. They're 4th best. They're 4th most in play action, and he's almost dead. They're not doing it very well. Like Baker has not been great at play action. You know, maybe because the run's not – because play action is based on, you know, when you go to the play action – you know, the linebackers come up, there's space behind them, you hit behind them. But if they don't respect the run, then play action is almost pointless. This is interesting. Mayfield is number 2 in the NFL in pressure percentage that results in sacks. Mahomes is 1st, Mayfield is 2nd, and Josh Allen is 3rd. So he's done a tremendous job at avoiding the rush. And everybody like, oh, they're a good pass blocking team. No, we're not. Our quarterback is really good at getting out of pressure situations. Mayfield's passer rating under pressure is 3rd best in the league at 97.8. Yet his passer rating when he's kept clean is 29th out of 32. That's bizarre. That's bizarre. When you're kept clean, your rating is less than when you're rushed. Maybe that's maybe that's the plan. They're just doing lookout blocks. So the more pressure he's under, the better he is. So they just don't block anybody. Oh, okay.
They just want him to improvise more. That's what it comes down to. Some quarterbacks are better at that, right?
Yeah.
James Winston was one of those guys sometimes.
Bucs have the best red zone defense in the NFL, allowing a touchdown only 22.2% of trips. So you should be winning more games with these numbers. Especially this one. The Bucs forced a turnover at 21% of drives, which is the best in the league. 13 takeaways in 6 games. I mean, you should not be 3-3 when you're leading the league in turnovers per drives. That means you're not converting those turnovers into touchdowns and points. So many bizarre metrics that the Bucs are involved in right now. And you know, you can look at them and say this is good stuff that may eventually turn into winning, you know? So as much as we feel every week in the NFL, it's like you feel like you'll never win another game. And then when you win, you feel like you'll never lose, right? It's just, it's weird how that works. So let's see what happens in this particular week. You know, Thursdays are weird though. So you don't want to take too much from them, but you know, it's just another week of data. It's another week to look what your team does. And, you know, hopefully Nick Leverett starts at center and Stinney starts at left guard. And it literally cannot be worse than what we've done. So I know this is what boggles the mind. It's like when guys are like playing a little below average and you don't replace them, I get it, you know, but when guys are just sucking and you've got other guys that might be better, why don't you try them? I don't understand that. This coaching staff mystifies me.
It comes down to the coaching. It comes down to making adjustments and also comes down to playing favorites because like you said,
yes.
Stephen White is a favorite of Todd Bowles. He's made like a son to him. And he's not playing well right now, and you should make those changes, and yet you're not making those changes. Why? Because he has some affinity, if you will, towards White and making plays and being a big part of his defense.
No, he's not doing it. I don't see it. All right, let's take a quick break here. When we come back on the other side, a little bit more Bolts talk. Dave Canales, maybe we'll squeeze in a little Dave Canales. I may not have time for that, but we'll get to a couple other stories when we come back. We're brought to you by The Patio. We'll be there on Friday from 5 to 7 o'clock, folks. Come join us for our big Halloween contest, $2,500 in prizes, cash prizes, $1,500 to the best costume. And then we'll have a great happy hour. We'll be there 5 to 7 with our remote party. Have some giveaways for you there. We'll have some T-shirts. So come on down and say hello to the Patio, 421 South McDill, 3 blocks south of Kennedy. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Fitz the Mortgage Guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the Mortgage Guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Golden Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
Show here brought to you by the great folks at American Mortgage Services. If you need a refi or a new mortgage, Scott Fitzgerald, he is the man. Get him at scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa.com. All right, what did we miss out on here? What have we not gotten to here, Peter, that we need to hit?
Canales, a little bit of Canales sound here really quick.
All right, you want to throw a little bit on there? Let's hear from
Here we go.
The OC.
Short week for all of us. What's going on? What we got?
Coach, when you talk about a quarterback's best friends, good offensive line, good running game, good tight end to get down the middle. Our problem here is right now, is there a quick fix or is this just a work in progress?
Work in progress, yeah. No quick fixes for where we're headed. Just a lot of the same, same conversations. Hate to sound like a broken record, but fundamental execution. I thought the backs ran harder this week. We had some opportunities there. And again, just kind of getting grooved in the system. Better on third down, so that gave us a few more opportunities. And I think, what you guys saw is just kind of an attempt there to create some yards through the pass game, quick rhythm stuff that came alive for us pretty good. But again, still would love to just be able to run the ball with consistency and do that. And maybe that's me just being able to call more of those runs in different situations. But yeah, definitely got to be better.
red zone situations is kicking you right now. And,
Yeah.
You had first and goal at the 8, trying to win a game.
Yeah.
3 straight passes. If you could have more confidence in the run game there,
Yeah.
are you calling those plays? Is the lack of the run game affecting your red zone right now?
For me, yes, but the way I see it is best opportunity to score. Where's Mike and Chris at? Trying to attack coverages, and we had plays designed to attack those. Some near misses down there on both red zone opportunities. So really, again, it's just details in our route running, details in our throws and our reads. At the last drive there, we got pressured a little bit. And Filer, was fighting through something there. He stayed in there. What a stud, to give us a chance to do that right there. So really appreciate him for that. But yeah, just the red zone production.
Good. And when you look at some of the play calls there, not a whole lot of imagination. Not that there's a lot of great calls for 3rd and goal from the 8, but it's just not a lot of imagination there. So Bucs will get another shot here tomorrow night. We'll, of course, be talking a lot about that tomorrow. Scott Carter's going to join us tomorrow, FloridaGators.com. We'll get into a little bit more on the Gators' big showdown with Georgia. Been a crazy season. Florida's, started to play their best ball in that second half against South Carolina. Graham Mertz has played tremendous football this year for them. So who knows? Georgia's got to lose at some point.
There you go.
Maybe this will be the week.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Gator fans that like to see it happen. That's for sure.
That's for damn sure. Yeah, but I think, what are they, 23-point favorites? So we'll dive into that a lot tomorrow. We'll get you ready for some Bucs and Bills tomorrow night as well. And we got a Bolts game to get ready for as well. So we'll be doing all the Tampa Bay talk as we always do here. Great job, Peter. Thanks to you. Thanks to Cullen Telfer for joining us, rodeo champion from Strawberry Crest. He'll be competing in Vegas for the big money in December. So thanks to him for joining us. Thanks for you guys joining us. Please follow us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, our YouTube pages, Facebook, all of our social as well. And we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.